Hey guys, so today it's all about the fans again, as this channel is supposed to be about. Today I'm going to be revealing your T20 starting 11s for the T20 series, what you guys would prefer to see. Now, obviously, you can tell me if you want to see the same team or the same 11 for all the matches, or you can tell me that you want to change things up and how you want to change things up from game 1 to 3, and we're going to discuss them. I'm going to discuss each one. I'm going to show every single one of these teams on the screen so that you guys can also have your say on what you'd like to see in this Australia series. Because a lot of we're probably going to see a lot of differences between different teams, but and that's what I like to see. Differences of opinions would be nice to be able to show the rest of the world basically what you guys think of the Proteas. I always like to do these type of shows to give you guys, to give the public some insight into what we think as fans and give you guys a platform to be able to share your 11s. And then we discuss it and we go through each one based on what you guys think for the games against Australia, of course. So before I get going, before I get started, there's just a couple of things that I'd like you guys to please do. Please subscribe to this channel, click that notification bell for all future videos, but also download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen right now as well as in the description. And also, what we I call for you guys to help us out to keep everything going here at Cricket Fanatics Magazine by becoming a patron today. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Also, go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates as well. So, smash a like on the video. Don't forget to do that on arrival or on exit. It doesn't really matter when you do it, as long as you click that like button. It's very important that you guys do so. So, without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm looking forward to seeing who you guys selected in your 11s for the T20 series against Australia. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine on this rainy day in Cape Town. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. And this is another fan series that I'm going to be continuing with as we go along, where I will reveal your guys' starting 11s for the series against Australia. Now, let me first start by sharing the fixtures with you guys and when the games will be played. If you do not know about the itinerary and we don't know what is happening with regards to the itinerary, I'll be sharing that with you right now so that we can just get the game started and get the ball rolling for some of the people that are coming onto the stream right now. I just want to get into the nitty-gritty stuff for those that maybe don't know any of the information that has taken place. So as you can see, here's your itinerary for the tour itinerary for the KFC T20I series. The first game starts on Wednesday, 30th of August at 6 o'clock, and South Africa will play in Australia, of course, at Hollywood Bets Kingswood Stadium in Durban. All three T20Is will be played in Durban. One on Wednesday, 30th of August, one on Friday, the 1st of September at 6 o'clock, and then on Sunday, the 3rd of September at 2 o'clock. Those are the dates for the fixtures, just to give you guys a quick update. Then, when it comes to the teams the squads that were picked for this particular game, yesterday I did Australia's squad, and today I'm going to be showing you once again what the squad is for the T20 setup. The T21 is as follows: Aiden Markham as captain, Temba Bavuma, Matthew Breedsky, Dieval Brevis, Jello Coetzee, Donovan Ferreira, Bjorn Fortuin, Lisa Hendricks, Marco Janssen, Sasanda Magala, Keshav Maharaj, Winking Gidi, Debrey Shamsi, Tristan Stubbs, and Lazard Williams and Rassi van der Dissen. So those are the squads. That is the squad for the series, just to give you guys a quick update. And it's going to be an interesting one. I'm looking forward to seeing what teams we're going to be fielding. who is going to be playing in this particular series, and how we're going to set up, obviously, and tactically how we're going to try and win the series, of course, but also give some players an opportunity as well, because it's very important that we do so too. Um, so to give you guys a quick understanding of this particular game, obviously in Durban, we are used to seeing quite spinner-friendly conditions in Durban. So going with going with two spinners might be an option in this particular series and this particular match. And having a look at the squad again, we can see that the spinners that are available are Fabrice Shamsi and Bjorn Fortuyn. And then we've got the wrist spin of Dewald Brevis there. We've got off spin of Aiden Markham over there, still in there. So most likely we're going to see um, one of Dewald or the Braves also and or Keshaf play. We're not 100% sure about, they're trying to get Keshaf obviously ready for the final T20, if I remember the report correctly. So for this one, you're probably going to see the likes of the Shams start as well as Bjorn Fortuyn in this particular match. Now, Donovan Ferreira also offers some spin, and Tristan Stubbs also offers some spin as well. So that those are also extra bowling options when you are thinking about your squads and when you're thinking about the team. So yeah, I want you guys to maybe to start putting your 11s in the live chat. It's going to be quite interesting to see what you guys selected. For me personally, let me just start there. I would obviously like to see someone like Dewald Brevis get an opportunity in this particular series. I want to see what he can do. I do think that they may be looking at him as an extra option when we do play the World Cup. Maybe in that number 7 role, perhaps as an extra bowling option as well. Wrist spin, of course. He does have some experience with regards to that. So that's a player that I would really like to see play. I would be very interested to see what he will do against a strong Australia side and how they're going to approach his integration into the side and into the squad. Right now, I do think that there is the number 7 spot is up for grabs, and I think that people will be competing for that. But there might also be a top order batter, a top order batting position as backup that will also be an option going forward. I think that is something that they're also going to be looking at as well. And with obviously with a lot of the guys. Also with a lot of the guys that are missing, it would be interesting to see which seamers they pick and who steps up. In the absence of the likes of KG Rabada and Anik Nokia and them, how those seaming options are going to fare against Australia. So as you can see on this particular list, again, I'm showing you guys, Gerald Kutsia is in the side, so I would like to see what he can do. And I hope he gets majority of the games and he starts majority of the games. We've got a couple of all-rounders in Marco Jansen and Sisanda Magala here that can also slot in that 8 role, 9 role, etc. And then you also got Lazard Williams that has travelled as a seamer as well. So, yeah, or not travelled, but he's here in Cape Town with the squad, obviously, and been in and around the Proteas setup for quite some time. Maybe hasn't gotten as much time in the middle like he would have probably liked. But it's interesting to see that. What I also want to see is how we have adapted to the new coach and his principles. It would be nice to see if this team is actually taking form with regards to their mentality. I would like to also see Aiden Markram and how he's settling in as the captain. And whether the coach's mentality is being rubbed off on the players. It's always very nice to see a new approach or a new philosophy take place and build and grow. So I'm very interested to see how we're going to approach this game. Are we going to be the type of team that is going to play more aggressively and more attacking and play with that mindset? Is it going to be evident that they're going to play that way as well? I would also like to see that if that is the case. So I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what this team will be able to do, and I really am interested to see if they are going to give youngsters an opportunity like we expect them to, because it's obviously an opportunity for a lot of these players to put up their hands and say that and it's and obviously give their case as to why they should be selected and why they should be permanent stays in this particular team. Okay, so yeah, that's basically my summary going into this game. Please note, guys, that we will be doing preview shows for this series. So a preview before the game, a day normally we do, or 2 days before the match. We try to do it, maybe we'll probably do it a day before the match, and then cover the game, and then do a review shows directly after the game's conclusion. So obviously the 6 o'clock game ends probably around 10. So we'll try to go live as soon as that game is done. So within 10:15 or 10:30, we start our live show to give a summary of what took place on the game day. Because I obviously am assuming that all of us are going to be watching the games, so that we'll still be awake after the game is done. So we'll be able to discuss it while it's still fresh in our minds. That's the reason why I like to do the review shows directly after the game is complete. So obviously the Sunday game, it's a little bit, it's in the afternoon, so it's going to finish a little bit earlier. So directly after that game, we will be going live. And we are going to be doing that for majority of the World Cup as well. And that's how we approach our previews and review shows for the new guys that are on this channel. So so far, I've only gotten one entry team that has been shown to us at the moment. So I'm waiting for you guys starting 11s for the T20 11 and from the squad on who you guys would like to see. But Lawrence has given me his 11 in this live chat. He's gone with the 11 of Riza Brevis opening the batting, RVD, Markram, Stubbs, Ferreira, Jansen, Magala, Fortuin, Kutsia, Ngidi, Kutsi or Ngidi, and then Shamsi. He says, I think we've seen in the past that a top three of Riza, Bavuma, and Rasi doesn't work as it lacks firepower. So either Rasi or Timber along with DB and Riza as the top three. I'll go 2 spinners in Durban. You've seen how much it turned during the EC20, even during night games. Yeah. So he's gone with that 11, and that's his 11. And I'd like to know what you guys think and what your 11s are. Put them in the live chat when you feel you're ready. So when I look at this team, obviously a lot of new teams, a lot of new players. Brevis, obviously, Ferreira, Stubbs is kind of new to the setup. So it'll be interesting to see. Could see as well. And it will be a very this is quite a competitive team, and I do like the setup over here. It gives new people an opportunity. It also tests Jansen in that 7 role, which he played in the SA20. He actually did quite well in the SA20 as that as a batter, not only as a bowler. So it was nice to be able to see him. I think it was at Newlands when I saw him hit a 60 or something like that. So he did really well in that tournament, and he really expressed himself with the bat, which was excellent to see. And I hope that he can continue that going into this particular series and show us what he can do. And I hope that he gets the opportunity to play. So that's also very important for us, that these players get the game time and can really show us what they can do. Now, I've gone to Twitter as well to check what is happening over there, and if anybody's commented on Twitter with regards to their teams. And let's double check here if I can find it. Let me just sign into the Twitter Fanatics account quickly, and check what is happening over there. Chrome. Let's share it. Okay, so let's go to profile and let's check a team that has been entered over here on Twitter as well. We've got Lodrick Mashimbi, who posted this 11. He says he wants Pavuma and Riza Bretsky at 3, Markram at 4, Previs at 5, Ferreira at 6, Janssen at 7, Bjorn at 8, Magala at 9, Nkidi at 10, and Shamsi at 11. So he's giving former Proteas T20 captain an opportunity over there, giving him a chance to be able to show what he can do, of course. So, yeah, going with Brevis at 5, which is a position, obviously, where he'll have a little bit more responsibility, I would say, than what we think. But at least in a T20 format, you know, if you do really want to give Brevis a chance, maybe batting him higher up is possibly a better option, because then you almost guarantee that he will get some batting time. Sometimes at 7, if the batting lineup does do really well, Brevis might not see a lot of the ball. He might not get an opportunity to bat, and it might be a little bit of a waste over there for him in that regard. So, yeah, let's go to the next comment with Lorenzo. He says, Temba will play. I don't see RVD playing. So I don't see RVD playing, he says. Lorenzo, I'd like to know your 11, please, if you can release that 11. Lawrence and Khalid, what team do you want to see? So let me try, and I didn't actually set that up for you guys. I didn't think about my 11, but I can do that for you right now. So Riza opens for me. Let's go over that as number 1. And then I would like to see, I think I agree with the Deerwald perhaps opening in this matches, so that I can also keep that 7 option, that's number 7 slot open for an all-rounder that can maybe put up his hand as well. But I'd also like to see Deerwald Davis in the number 7 row too. But because of balance, etc., I think for this particular match, the best option would either go to for Rassi and Deerwald. I mean Rassi and Riza, Temba and Riza, or Deerwald and Riza. So I think the more attacking option, I'd go with Deerwald and Riza to open the batting. At number 3, I would like to see. I'm going to go with new players. So I would like to see maybe Matthew Bresky get an opportunity at the number 3 position. Then at number 4, I'd like to see Aiden. And number 5, I'd like to see Donovan get an opportunity, either at 5 or at 6. But probably I would look at 5 for Donovan. Then at 6, I'll go with Tristan. Actually, no, I'll go with 5 with Tristan, because I want to actually see he's been first in the setup. So I'd like to obviously see him that ball. So I'm going to put Tristan at 5 and Donovan at 6. 7, I'm going to have Marco Janssen. 8, I'm going to play Susanda Magala, so that I have my 2 all-rounders in there. Oh, actually, wait. 8, I'm going to have, Susanda Magala. At 9, I'm going to have Bjorn Fortuin. At 10, I'm going to have Jero Kutsia or Lungi. Doesn't really matter between the 2 of them. But probably I would like to see maybe Gerald because of his raw pace. And then at 11, I'll go with Shamsia. I'll also go with 2 spinners in that particular match. So, yeah, that would be my team. But I'm also going to have to think what is realistic. So when it comes to the realism and what I think will happen, I do think that probably Temba will get an opportunity because of the lack of game time that he's had over the last couple of months. So it could be an opening partnership of possibly Riza and Temba. It is very likely that they will play as well as Rassie van der Dussen because they need some game time. But for me personally, I would like to see the majority of the new guys get an opportunity and see them put up their hands because, I mean, the T20 World Cup is quite a long way. And I would like to obviously see who is going to really step up under that pressure. Lorenzo says Rassie van der Dussen, in my opinion, will be the key at the World Cup. So he needs a regular game time. He is that one player that can take his time up front, but in the end, have a strike rate of about 90 with the bonus being in getting to 100. So that's what I said. For me, that opening slot, I'm not really worried about who necessarily plays. I'm not going to feel emotional or sad or upset if they go with any of those three that I suggested. But I think that the three options could be Temba, Rassie, and Dierwold. Between those three as an opening position could be a massive option, and also Dierwold offering some opportunity with the rest, getting opportunity to bowl as well would be excellent. And then so that would be an interesting one over there. But I also want to see if Matthew Brzezinski can take his SA20 form into the international level as well. Lorenzo says, to be honest, Wanda, I don't not mind who's playing. I just want to see all the youngsters getting a crack. And I feel the same way. For me, I also want to I just hope that the youngsters will get an opportunity. I think that's the main thing for me. I did give my preferred team on what I think who I'd like to see play. But I think that from a game time perspective, I think Lawrence's team is quite balanced. If you want to give people opportunities before the World Cup, of course, like Rassie van der Dussen. If you want to give it, you picking your best batter first and foremost, which is Riza. It's the best T20 batter we currently have, and it is a very good balanced side. Now, that top three, I would obviously would like to see maybe Brzezinski get an opportunity at number 3, but for me, if it's going to be between Rassie van der Dussen and Temba, I'm going to go with Temba because I want to see our captain get some game time. But so if Rob is going to probably think about that, then we probably won't see Brevis. We'll see Temba and Rassie van der Dussen both get an opportunity, which is a bit of a problem in the T20 setup because unless they've changed their games over the last couple of months or since the World Cup, they've changed their games. There wasn't a lot of evidence from Rassie in the T20, SA20 that he's changed up his game and batted at a better strike rate. But they would, if they ever want to come back into the 11, then they will obviously have to have changed their game a bit and improve their strike rates. Lawrence is true. I don't think the series should be as seen as a be all and end all. We will see a lot of rotation anyway. Exactly. The most important thing about this series, and also what we got from Rob too, we got an idea from Rob that he wants to give people opportunities in this particular T20 series. So it's going, and also he has that opportunity right now because there's a lot of players that of the first 11 that were rested. So I don't think we as fans need to be like overly strict about the results. I think we should have a look at the youngsters and how they approach us and how they play and who's going to stand up under the pressure and who's not. That's the most important part. Aruna says, why Bayes Swanepoel does not get a chance in any squad? He has performed well across formats. Well, I think that's because there are other players ahead of him currently that have played longer in the cross formats. They played more seasons and they've been more consistent. So I think that's why they take precedent over Bayes Swanepoel. And another thing is also the pace. Bayes admitted on our show actually not a while back that he isn't the fastest of bowlers, and that's not his skill. You know, his skill is the ability to be able to swing the ball both ways. So he won't necessarily be the first seamer in a South African team on the list because they generally go for the all-out paces first before they look at anything else. will Shukri be a part of the coaching staff for the World Cup? I think CSA should consider that. It's a good call. Um, I don't know if he will be. I don't think he will be. I think he has given Rob full. I mean, they have given Rob full. I don't think Coach Shukri would want to get in the way of Rob. But it could be a good option, of course, because of his knowledge that he has and his ability to be able to read the mentality of players. I think is very good, and I think he has that sense, that instinct for when a player is in the right frame of mind and when they aren't, and he has a hell of a lot of experience and understands the game. So it would be a smart move for Rob to suggest that, but also at the same time, I don't think you'd want your test coach to get in necessarily in the way of the white ball coach. I don't. Maybe Rob doesn't think that way, but it would be a good suggestion. I'm not against that suggestion at all. Hunain Daha says he would like to see Riza, Temba, and Rassi. Aiden at 4, Stubbs at 5, Don and Brevis at 6 and 7, Janssen, Magala, Gidi, and Shamsi. Another good option. Don can give you a couple of overs. Brevis can give you a couple of overs. Stubbs can give you a couple of overs if you need it. Aiden can as well. And then you've got your main bowlers in Janssen and Magala, and in Gidi and Shamsi. So you've got all your bases covered here. And also you can split it up. You can split Bjorn's 4 overs over those 3 bowlers, perhaps, giving 1 over to one of them and maybe 2 to another and maybe another 1 to another, just to test that theory. But personally, I think Bjorn Fortuin is brilliant in T20 cricket, especially opening the bowling. And if you don't have the out-and-out pace of Gerald here, then in this team, I would have probably picked someone like a Bjorn Fortuin to open the bowling perhaps and take that new ball, rough it up a bit, so that if even Gidi opens the bowling on the other end, it can work in his favor. Lauren says you will probably do a show on at some time this week, so don't want to jump the gun. But some big announcement in the women's game today. Excited for them. There is exciting news with regards to the women. Besides the fact that Sunay Lewis has stepped down as captain from the national side. It's weird because before I thought that she was replacing Dane as the captain, and then I saw them speak about it in a way almost like she was interim captain, which was quite a shock to me because I thought that she was the regional captain. I thought that she was the captain that would be taken over. I didn't think of her as an interim. But yeah, I might as well just do it right now with regards to, might as well just read out the press release today from CSA with regards to the women's team that came out today. Cricket South Africa has officially launched the Professional Domestic Women's League with a momentous event as leading figures of women's cricket from across the country gathered at Freedom Park in Tshwane on Tuesday. The new structure comes after the immense success of the Proteas women in the last ICC Women's World Cup 2022 hosted in New Zealand and the ICC T20 Women's World Cup 2023 held on home soil, where they reached the semi-finals and the final respectively. It was the latter tournament where Proteas women were dubbed history makers as a senior national cricket team to reach the final, the first senior national cricket team to reach a final of the ICC World Cup. South Africa also hosted the inaugural ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup in January 2023, where the S-Under-19 team narrowly lost out on a spot in the semi-finals after an exhilarating Super 6 stage. Rooted in local essence through the best domestic talent South Africa has to offer, as well as the enhanced coaching and medical departments, the new structure is a testament to the developing endeavors in the sport set by CSA. With the help of the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, investment of 15 million rand over the 3 years, which is excellent. The CSA Professional Domestic Women's League comprises of two main tournaments, the CSA Women's One Day Cup and the CSA Women's T20 Challenge, and seeks to revolutionize the way women's cricket is perceived and celebrated. The women's structure is set to undergo significant changes. The number of permanent contracts in the top 6 Division 1 will be raised from 6 to 11 players per team. Additionally, there will be improved and permanent coaching setup consisting of a head coach and an assistant coach, as well as a centralized system for physiotherapists and strength and conditioning coaches attending to each team. To further boost motivation among players and competing teams in the first division, which includes the 2023 T20 and 50-over championship champions DP Lions and Six Gun Girl Western Province, along with the Fidelity Titans, Hollywood Pets, Dolphins, Six Gun Girl Garden Root Badgers, and Newcomers Free State, CSA has introduced a combined prize money pot for the respective winners of the upcoming campaign. CSA Chief Executive Officer Poletsi Moseke said, "We are thrilled to unveil the Professional Women's Cricket League, an initiative that celebrates the remarkable achievements of the national women's cricket team and paves the way for an even better future. The professionalization of women's domestic structure aims to elevate the women's cricketing landscape by providing platform for local talent to shine, fostering a culture of sporting excellence while inspiring the next generation of players. With the success of South African cricket on a global stage, we believe that this will be a stepping stone for local talent, creating an environment that fosters growth, resilience, and deep love for the sport. Professionalizing the women's domestic structure has been met with enthusiasm from fans, players, and sponsors alike. We call on brands to continue showing their support for women's cricket, recognizing the league's potential to redefine the narrative around women in sports in the country." So it's an excellent thing that's happened for the women's game. I mean, it's a massive achievement. This is a massive leap forward, because I spoke about it for quite some time, that the women's game needs that investment. So it's a brilliant move by Cricket South Africa. And you guys asked me about Enoch Mkwe, and you asked me about yesterday about what he's doing and has he been doing a good job. This is one of the reasons why he is doing something like this and getting it implemented. He spoke about this for some time, that he wanted to professionalize the women's game. So I think it's an excellent move, and I think it's brilliant for the ladies that haven't been able to make money from this. That's the biggest thing. I think that a lot of women were just playing the sport for the love of the game, and they weren't necessarily being given an opportunity to make money from this. Yeah, so that's another thing that we have seen implemented from the BOC and the CEO, etc. That is a positive step in the right direction. Sorry, guys. Just want to do something quickly before I get back to you guys. I can't multitask, it's a problem. I just saw something that I need to just quickly do. I know. Yeah, bear with me. I'm just going to be a couple of minutes. Yeah, so this is important from the women's perspective, that they can earn money, because I've been watching them for quite some time. Really putting a lot of effort and time, not only the players, but also the coaches, sometimes investing their own money into certain aspects of the game, to get drinks, food, etc. for their players, so that they can obviously have an opportunity to, have some comfortability within at practices, etc. Okay, let's continue with the show again. I would play Temba and Rassi for the game time, and Brevis at 7 for for audition of his for ODI, and Gidi Shamsi for the game time. Lawrence saying, I'm actually quite excited to see how Temba has evolved his T20 game. If he has evolved his T20 game, I would like to see if he has. If that is the case, it would be interesting to see. So I wouldn't actually mind him playing in this particular matches to see how his game has developed. Unain says coaching staff is already so saturated for World Cup with Eric Simons likely to join. I don't know what role Pete Porter will be playing for Eric joins as bowling coach. Kesh is our golden boy. If he's fit, he will play every match. When will South Africa? When will South Africa what? Oh, when will South Africa announce their World Cup squad? They said September, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was September. They said they're going to announce it, isn't it? I can't actually remember, to be honest with you, what date they said. Or if they even did say when they're going to announce it. Didn't we do a show on this? I think we did a show on this when I announced it. Because guys, remind me, the guys that have watched all the last shows, 5th September. Yes, there we go. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I think I said it on a previous show. We do that, but I do so many shows that every single day we were doing a show, and so many articles a day, I kind of forget certain things. So it's nice to have you guys there to remind me about those things. Okay, let's look at Liegles team. He has Pavuma and Brzezinski. Buvuma or Brzezinski, Hendricks, Van der Dussen, Markram, Previs, Stubbs or Ferreira at 6, so he's not going to play both in his team. Janssen Okutsi at 7, and then Fortuin or Maharaj at 8, and then Ngidi, Magala, and Shamsi. Playing Brzezinski as an opener, brave move. I do think, even though I know that he probably will be able to do it, the guy is extremely talented and doesn't necessarily get phased by pressure, etc. He's not that type of player that necessarily gets phased by those type of things. So it will be interesting to see whether he can get some game time in the series. He had a very good SA20 and he's been playing all right in the white ball competitions around the world. Khalid, any ideas of the new selection panel has been announced? If not, I assume Rob will have full reign in selecting the squad. This will be the first time the World Cup squad will be selected without selectors. Yeah, I don't think there are. I think that Shuki Conrad will probably also be part of that selection panel. I think it's all the coaches and the DOC that kind of come up with that, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong and be corrected about that after I've said this. But yeah, I haven't heard anything regarding a selection panel being selected yet. I haven't heard any mutterings or any rumors about that either. I want to try to get DOC Enoch on the show this week. I'm going to ask him and see if he is okay with coming on the show. I would like to actually talk to him about all of these things and what his thinking is, etc. Now, after there's been quite some time that he's been on the channel, I would like to try and set it up. It's very difficult because he's a very busy person. Okay, I've announced that already. I think coach should be the sole selector, and he should own the performance from guys selected by him. So far, that's how it's been. I mean, the coach has been in 5th September. Says, that was for the World Cup. That's CSA for you. There is too much politics involved, and unfortunately, Sunelos is just another person who got kicked out, just everyone else. I don't know if she got kicked out because the statement said that she stepped down, and they're looking at a new captain. I always thought that Laura Wolfhard would take over captaincy at some point. Perhaps she's going to be the one that will probably take over as captain. It's not necessarily a decision that I dislike, but from my interviews with Sune, we interviewed her before the last World Cup, and the T20 World Cup, I think it was. We had a chat with her, and she was brilliant. I mean, everything that she said and the way she thought about the game, um, she keeps everybody calm. But soon I stepped down to focus on a cricket, apparently, according to the reports. And I can understand that to an extent and the decision, because I do think to an extent her performances were suffering from when she took over the captaincy. She was focused on the captaincy and also not taking um, what was happening. Also, she wasn't necessarily making decisions to play herself bravely in certain situations and scenarios. For example, when Dana was captain, she would back herself also to in pressure situations. But Sune did the decent thing as well. Well, I mean, it's a decent thing, but she would give opportunities to the team to do certain roles, etc., and to take some pressure off the rest of the team. And she'd only bowl if it's very necessary. She would put her trust in her teammates rather than herself alone. So I thought that was quite a selfless way of looking at things. Lawrence says Eric Simons won't be coming in as a bowling consultant. It will be more like a mentorship, as he has great experience of Indian conditions as well as World Cup and IPL winning experience as a coach. Yeah, I think Pete Botha is part of the squad now, so I think he'll be the guy that's involved. Now we just need Enoch to release that T20 World Cup review, Lafayette. We've been waiting for months now already, as it's past its deadline. They set it a long time ago. The CSA Women's League has no sponsor, so how will it be funded besides the money it receives from the government? I do think it will get a sponsor quite soon. I think that's the aim. And I think that's probably how it will be eventually sponsored down the line. So it's a brilliant move. I think it's an absolutely brilliant move by Cricket South Africa to do something like this, because the women's game was suffering, really was suffering. What's your semi-finalist pick for the World Cup? I'm going to obviously be biased and say South Africa, but I have to look at the fixtures to see what's most likely to happen. But the 4 teams that I would like to see, or what I think will make it through, is the same people: Australia, England, India, and I would like to see South Africa in that mix. But you know that Pakistan is also a very strong team. They always seem to do well in World Cups. And New Zealand, you can never also count them out. I also saw that all the games at the World Cup are evening games, so we can at least plan accordingly. Pakistan, India, Australia, and England are my semi-finalists. I see England going back to back. Day-night games with due around can be lottery sometimes. I wonder why they didn't start an hour early. We're talking about the games against South Africa. I mean, against Australia, there's night games and then a day-night game on a Sunday. Or we're talking about in the ODIs. But perhaps they wanted you to create some spinning conditions as well, to make it a little bit trickier. Pakistan, with their pace bowling, is real contenders. Haven't seen such aggression from Proteus pace bowlers in ODIs for a long time. Pakistan just rolled over Afghanistan with pace and aggression today, says Hunain. Yeah, they're always scary. They are always scary. They've got some brilliant bowlers. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they fare in the World Cup and how players tend to counter that, because yeah, they are a very tricky team to play against, particularly in World Cups, I would say, because in World Cups they seem to always come to the party and perform well. It's like they just have that big match temperament when it comes to World Cups, which is brilliant. Let's hope that Durban weather holds out next week. Oh yes, that will be awful if it doesn't. Now I'm talking about day-night World Cup games. Yes, I got that afterwards. Sorry, Thoughts on George Lendo omission from the squad? I don't think it's necessarily an omission because they haven't necessarily made it clear that they're looking at him. He hasn't been selected in the Proteas team for a very long time. It would be an omission, I think, if he was selected recently in a team, but he hasn't even been selected in an SAA team. So it's quite baffling what's happening with him and why they aren't looking at him. It is quite interesting to see because I've thought if he's not going to get selected in the Protea setup, then at least you'll maybe see the SAA side or even an emerging side to try and work his way back into the sides. But even though he's too good for maybe a SAA team or emerging team, but I thought that at least if we're not going to see him, at least give him an opportunity to work his way back into the side by picking him in an A side. But it doesn't seem like they fancy having George Lender in teams at the moment. It doesn't seem like they are having him in their plans unless they allowing him to just get this experience elsewhere. I don't know what the thought process is. I don't know where they are with him. We had him on the show. He did speak to us and say that the coaches have spoken to him. So either way, we don't know what's going on with the Linda situation. I don't think we ever beat Pakistan in an ICC event. How many games Proteas play at Chennai? Chennai is a spin wizard. This is not the World Cup show, guys, so we will go into the details of this when we get to the World Cup shows. The World Cup is still a long way out, so we'll do our previews. We'll talk about each ground. We'll give all that information again closer to the time. I don't want to make this about the World Cup. I want to make this about the Australia series. As a Durban boy, the weather should be good for T20 series in September. The weather becomes bad between February and April, says Tabo. Thank you, Tabo, for that update. Lawrence says, in terms of Linda, I think there might be some disciplinary issues. I think George handled the New Zealand situation a couple of years back. I'll biting in now. It's not CSA. I think it's both. Let's see what happens with regards to that. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in and showing me your sides and speaking about the series. We will be back again tomorrow with another daily show. Don't forget to obviously subscribe to the channel as well. Click that notification bell for all future videos too. Very important that you do so. We are on the road to 4,000 subscribers, so please go ahead and do so straight away. Very important that you do so. Tabo says that game against Australia in Lucknow is going to be tough. That pitch in Lucknow is tough to bat on and was a disaster in the IPL. I think George wanted to play and not sit on the bench. Yes, that was the case. He told us. That. And yeah, Stark and Smith ruled out. Should be an interesting 11 from the Aussies. Yes, it will be. We did a show yesterday on the Australia team and what they were coming up with. Lawrence throwing a dagger into my heart. Thank you, Lawrence. Spurs the harder without Kane even. Yeah, we looked fatigued, which is a shock to me. We looked very unfit, which is a weird one for me. So I don't know what's happening because that first 30 minutes we played well. The first 30, 40 minutes we played okay. Our pressing was good. We understood the shape that that Spurs was playing in. I think that Spurs is also was trying to do that inverted winner thing when they're bringing those players in and making like a square in the middle of the park for almost like X passes in a way you could say to overload the midfield. And we marked that pretty well with transition-wise. We were turning over the ball quickly, all of those type of things. Couldn't finish our chances from those positions, which we should be able to do. That's United's biggest problem, can't score goals. And then if we don't, as the game goes along, more pressure. Yeah, and I need Amrabat, please. I need Amrabat as well. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. Also, help us out by becoming a patron today to keep everything going over here at Cricket Fanatics Magazine. We need your help, so please go to the link on the screen or in the description to show your support for the channel and all the content that we produce. And also go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all regular updates. That's been me, Khalid. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Stay safe, stay warm, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace out.